Vajra Sattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Rishta Ridro Meba Soto Kayo Mebawa Supo Kayo Mebawa Anurakto Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsam Sarva Karma Sutsame Citam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Munsa Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Locho Sampo Pagyo Trashe Pa Tuche Tempe Trinle Yarmoda Pelge Drolor Zambe Zeparache Palde Lame Shabla Solvade Omo A Guru Vajra Dara Suma Timo Nishasane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajra Dara Suma Timo Nishasane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajra Dara Suma Timo Nishasane Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Pakyuke Kudan Dagi Lu Pakyuke Sundan Dagi Nga Pakyuke Tudan Dagi Yi Tenyerme Chikto Jingi Makyuke Kudan Dagi Lu Makyuke Sundan Dagi Nga Makyuke Tudan Dagi Yi Tenyerme Chikto Jingi Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Munye Swaha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Munye Swaha Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Give Sonamgi Drola Pinchra Sangye Druparash Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Give Sonamgi Pinchra Sangye Druparash Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chushe Gibe Tsonamgi Drola Pinchra Sangye Drupar In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge into enlightenment. To the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, we go now to verse number 100. Tusun galwa kungi drochilam, namda gyase dombe gyu damshin, tekcho tsultrim sumgi nyamlela, tsömpa lurlen chebar jingilob. We seek your blessings that we may eagerly endeavor to put into practice the three Mahayana moral codes and restrain our mind streams with pure bodhisattva vows, the single path journeyed by all victorious ones of the three times. So here, actually verse 99, when it says, we seek your blessings to become adept of bodhicitta, and the next part means the moment in which we actually develop the actual bodhicitta. Okay? So in the verse number 99, it representing the moment in which the practitioner develops what is called bodhicitta of the intention. There is a difference which is called Mönpa Semkye and Jukpa Semkye. The generation of the mind of enlightenment of intention and the generation of the mind of enlightenment of action. So the mind of enlightenment of intention, the bodhicitta of intention, is when we deeply, strongly wish to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay? We are not yet doing anything for it, but we want so much. And this is being referred in verse number 99. Verse number 100, it's bringing us to the next step of bodhicitta, which is the bodhicitta of action, which is the moment in which we say, not only I want to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will do everything I can, and I will start practicing right now. Okay? So normally the bodhisattva, once the bodhisattva actually develops the wish, enters into the path of the bodhisattva, which means develop is the deep, strong wish to reach enlightenment. The next step is to make the commitment to put into practice whatever may be necessary, such as the 6 perfections and the bodhisattva vows. He makes a commitment of practice in order to help sentient beings. So, the verse 100 is exactly showing that. As we have seen, all the verses are showing the gradual path to enlightenment. So once we develop the intention, next step, we need to develop the strong commitment. And we need to put it into practice, because the first step is like we say, droar dödan droai. This is coming from Bodhisattva Charyavatara. It refers, the bodhicitta of intention is like the wish of going. The bodhicitta of action is when you actually start walking. This is the main difference. But it's very, very important to have the wish to go. No? Sometimes I see people saying, oh, but what's the point of wanting someone to do so much to do something if I cannot do it? Oh, there is a big point. When we start having the wish, this means we start creating the causes in order for that to happen. Maybe at this moment there are not all the conditions are not all there, all the causes are not all there. But we need to start putting the energy for that direction. So, in bodhicitta, first we develop the intention, then we make the commitment, which is called the vows. And in the Mahayana codes of morality, here as it says, we seek your blessings that we may eagerly endeavor to put into practice the 3 Mahayana moral codes. To put into practice the 3 Mahayana moral codes, which are Dompe Tsultrim, Gyewa Chodugi Tsultrim, and Semchen Latunchegi Tsultrim, which is the morality of avoiding negative actions, the morality of accomplishing positive actions, and the morality of benefiting others. Okay? These are the 3 types of moralities which are within the Mahayana code. And especially, I take the commitment to keep the bodhisattva vows as a way to control my own mind stream. Okay? Why do we take vows? Like the vows that we have just read before this morning, is basically to be like a guideline for our own thoughts. Because our mind can go in so many directions. So we start putting a guideline. This I shouldn't do. I should do that. I know, so don't criticize others. Don't try to harm anyone, whatever, okay? So we put a guideline in our mind, and based on that, we can follow this guideline. So, we need to familiarize our mind positively. We need to direct our mind positively. That's why we say here, we seek your blessings that we may eagerly endeavor to put into practice the three Mahayana moral codes of abandoning negative actions, accomplishing positive actions, and benefiting others. And restrain our mind stream with pure bodhisattva vows, the single path journeyed by all victorious ones of the three times, which means all those that have reached enlightenment in the past, that are reaching enlightenment in the present, or that will reach enlightenment in the future, the only path to reach enlightenment in the past, in the present, or in the future is through the bodhisattva vows, is to the mind of bodhicitta, and is through the commitment to benefit others. And the commitment to follow the path of the six perfections. There is no other way. We cannot invent something else. And someone may say, but what happened before Buddha Shakyamuni? Buddha Shakyamuni himself is said to be the fourth Buddha of this era. This doesn't mean before him there were not other Buddhas. Maybe there were other eras with other Buddhas that had manifested. But the point is that at this era in which we live, this eon, it's called, then we can go on and discuss right long what is an eon. Okay, but that's another story. But at this eon in which we are, this era, said to be 1,000 Buddhas will come. Buddha Shakyamuni is the fourth Buddha. Okay? So before the total destruction of this world system in which we live, which would say that in the after the 1,000th Buddha, then the whole unit, this planet and everything will disintegrate, will go into destruction. So since the beginning of the existence of this planet, let's make it in this way, there have been up to now 4 Buddhas, it's said. Buddha Shakyamuni is said to be the 4th. After we have another many to come, a total of 1,000 Buddhas. Now we have it represented in the wall there. Okay, you have that many little small Buddhas on the wall there painted. We see 3 main images. In the center is Buddha Shakyamuni. Then on the left is Buddha Kassapa, which is the Buddha of the past, before Buddha Shakyamuni. And on the right is Buddha Maitreya, the Buddha of the future. So these are representing the Buddhas of past, present, and future. And around, they're all supposed to be all the 1,000 Buddhas of this era. Okay? The original painting was a little bit bigger, so there were all the 1,000 Buddhas were there. There they are condensed in that space. Not, if we count them, they're not precisely 1,000, but they're representing the 1,000 Buddhas of this era. Okay? This is the meaning of that painting that we have there. And there is a name for each one of them. Okay? I have no idea what they are, but it is written. We have these names written, the name of each and every one of them. Anyhow, the point is that even before Buddha Shakyamuni, it doesn't matter if it was called Buddhism or not called Buddhism, what was the name that was given to it. The fact is, for anyone to get free from the cycle of suffering and to develop his qualities to the maximum potential, the only way is through the mind of bodhicitta. It's through developing true love and compassion and wisdom and practicing the 6 perfections. There is no other way. So, may I be able to follow this path. Please, Guru Buddha, bless me. I make the commitment, I will keep the vows of the Bodhisattva. And for those that want to have more detailed about the vows, there is a text that Rinpoche transmitted to us called the Mahayana Self-Healing, in which there are all the 18 root vows and the 46 secondary vows of the Bodhisattva. So we can go through it and we can study it. Not so complicated, not so complex, actually quite simple to understand. Very beautiful. But mainly, if we condense all the vows, is the vows of abandoning negative actions, accomplishing positive actions, and benefiting others. Okay? And this is the only pathway through which all the Buddhas of the past have gone, through anyone in the present, or that will ever go on the future. Okay? So in this moment, we start to enter the bodhicitta of action. It's when we say, I really want to reach enlightenment, let's do it. I will make it, I will put it into action. And that's where it starts, the next part, which is the 6 perfections. In the moment that I truly want to reach enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings, I need to make it into practice, and the practice is condensed within the 6 perfections. Okay? So, From this we go to the next verse, and we start actually looking at the actual 6 perfections. Okay. So, the next point is, as we start to practice the 6 perfections, we start with the first perfection, that is the perfection of generosity. As it says, Ludan longcho tusum getso che semcheraran debe ngogirte chagme ton sempewe mengagi jimpe parchin zokpar jingilob. We seek your blessings that we may eagerly endeavor to put into practice the 3 Mahayana moral codes. No, sorry, this is verse number 100. 101. We seek your blessings to complete the perfection of generosity through the guideline teachings for enhancing the mind that gives without attachment, namely transforming our bodies, wealth, and collection of virtue over the 3 times into the objects desired by each and every sentient being. So here is talking about the importance of developing generosity, and is showing us a specific practice of visualization to develop generosity, which I will explain a little bit later. Before we go through that, let's understand a little bit more about generosity itself. Generosity, it's first of all the act of giving. We call in Tibetan Tongwe Sempa, is the mind of giving. Is the attitude, the inner attitude of sharing, of giving to others. Okay? And then when we talk about giving, it's really giving. It's not like making some sort of exchange. I give this to you in order for you to give me that. Okay, I give this to you, but you need to be nice to me, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, I am really giving. I am not buying anything from you. I am not making an exchange like I give this to you, and in exchange you need to be nice, and you need to act like this, and you need to do like that. Generosity means I truly share, I truly give, openly, freely, without expectations of retribution. So, based on that, when we talk about giving, it is the first of the 6 perfections, also because it's by giving that we receive. Okay? As Saint Francis also said in the simple prayer, è dando che si riceve, it's by giving that you receive. Buddha said, Jingpe longcha timgide. Jingpa means generosity. Longcha means to, like somehow to experience material and physical pleasures. So basically, it means by generosity you get material things and pleasures of the senses and so on. Okay? So what is this meaning? That if I want to have a material stability, which is the karmic cause for such material stability? It is generosity. So, as we were saying this morning, in the advices, it says never give up the 3 causes, which is to meet a good guru, to have the will to practice the Dharma, to have the pleasure in practicing the Dharma, and to have the minimum material stability. If we don't have the minimum material stability, which means food to eat, if we don't have a place to live, if we cannot cover our body with our clothes from the winter, and so on, what happens? It's more difficult to practice. So the minimum material stability, it's necessary. So based on that, the first of all the 6 generosities, of the 6 perfections, is generosity, in order for us to create the causes to have also the minimum material stability in order to follow well our path. Okay? And it's very, very important. It's like, we may say, but with being very poor materially, it's also possible. Look at Milarepa. Sure, but it was not easy also for Milarepa. That he was very, very poor materially. Anyhow, the point is that we really need the minimum, and that's why also to give, it's a way of, it's like a long-term investment. When I am generous, when I am sharing, I am creating the correct causes for gradually to have the results of material stability. Okay? So this is one aspect that is important also. Together with that, it comes that when we talk about giving, it's not only giving materially. There are 4 types of generosity mainly, which is the generosity of giving materially, the generosity of giving love, which means to feel love for others, to give affection, the generosity of giving protection, which means to act in a way that we can help others to avoid suffering. So if a person doesn't have anything to eat and I give him food, I'm doing both, the generosity of giving materially, but also the generosity of giving protection, because I am protecting him from the suffering of hunger, which otherwise he would have. If I do it with love, it's also the generosity of giving love. Then there is the generosity of giving spiritually, of giving the Dharma, which means sharing the spiritual path with others, the spiritual medicine, as Rinpoche calls. These 4 types of generosity are actually in order regarding their strength, how strong, how powerful they are as generosity, and the easiness of it. So the most easy is to give materially, and it's the smallest type of generosity. Then comes giving love, then comes giving protection, and then comes giving the Dharma, which is the most difficult and at the same time the most powerful type of generosity. Okay? So, when we give out of love. And the basis of generosity is the feeling of love, because I wish you to be happy, so I share something with you. Physically, materially, emotionally, spiritually, I share with you. Why? Because I have it, so I can share. We cannot give something that we don't have, right? That's why also I was making a sort of a joke before. When we give, who's belonging it? If someone gives me this cup, who's the cup belonging to? To me, right? So once someone have given the cup to me, it has become my cup. So once the cup is mine, can I do whatever I want with it? If I'm not harming anyone, I would say yes, no? I cannot kill someone with the cup, but I can do many things with the cup, such as give it to other people. So sometimes I feel like people come and give a present to Rinpoche. And then a few minutes later, that is he giving this present to someone else. And some people sometimes become upset and say, oh, but this I have given to him. And I would say, exactly, because you gave to him, it's his, so that he can give to someone else, no? Sometimes people give presents with like a string attached, no? So this we shouldn't do. When we give, we truly give. We don't ask anymore about. We don't try to control it anymore. We simply give. This is important. Together with that comes another aspect of generosity, which is the generosity of receiving. There are many people that they like very much to give, but they are not able to receive. And when someone truly wants to give something to us, if we do not receive it, if we do not accept it, if we do not receive well, the person will not be happy with that, right? The person may feel sad, may feel, oh, what have I done wrong? Why you don't like me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we can have many different difficulties. So when someone comes with love and with gratitude or with respect, whatever, and wants to give something to us, okay, unless there is a situation in which it is of no benefit and it may even be of some harm to receive that, we should accept it. How many times people gave me things I have no idea what to do with them? Okay, I accept. Thank you very much. Because what I am accepting is not the object, it's the act of love that a person has towards me, which is manifested through something that a person is giving. Then after, okay, we keep it in one place, we give, we sell, I don't know, do something with things sometime, no? But only one time I remember clearly someone wanting to give something to me and I really could not accept it. It was in the Gompa in Milan some years ago. Then one very nice man, he came and he was creating rabbits. So he came with 2 live rabbits and he wanted me to give me the rabbits. And then I was looking and I said, okay, but now, what do I do? I was thinking, what do I do now? I cannot not accept the present. He's really giving with a nice intention. But what am I going to do with 2 rabbits in my house? I have already difficulty keeping all the commitments I have and with the time and up and down. Imagine me with 2 rabbits at home. What would happen, no? So, first of all, the rabbit will not be taken care in the right way. So basically, I went to him and I said, okay, I accept your gift with one condition, if you continue to take care of the rabbit. It's my rabbit, but you take care of it. And I said, he already had many rabbits. Okay, you continue to have many rabbits. If I remember, I gave names to the rabbits. And I said, okay, this is the rabbit, and it's my rabbit, but you take care of it, okay? He said, yes, then finish. But normally, whenever someone gives something to us, we need to accept it. Unless receiving that gift will harm the person. Sometimes people want to give more than what they can really do. Or if there is any negative aspect in receiving that gift, this is something maybe we may not accept. Otherwise, whenever people make a gift to us, we should go there and we should accept it. What we do with the gift, that's our problem after. But there is also the generosity of receiving. Because very often people have difficulty receiving because in the moment that they receive, there is the feeling that, oh, because I receive from you a present, a gift, a favor, now I am in debt with you. And people don't like being in debt. So they would much rather say, I want to pay you, so I have no debt with you, rather than receiving a favor from you or a present from you. Okay? But it's very important for us to receive openly, also because we need to understand that we are in a world of exchanges. This is part of our human life and it's part of our own path to happiness. We have this very crazy modern idea that to be happy we need to be totally individualist and do things in the way how we want, when we want, in our own way. And it's actually not working. We end up being a very big number of people, each one closed in their own rooms, with their own private toilets, with their own private device of entertainment. Lonely. And the most crazy stuff is that people end up nowadays not talking to each other, not looking in the eyes of each other, but they end up with this individual thing, connecting with other people, but in a very selfish way. Because what happened in the social media somehow is like, yes, I am in contact with so many people, no? One time one friend told me, to be famous in Facebook is like to be rich in Monopoly, no? It's like, no, he said, to have many friends in Facebook is like to be rich in Monopoly. It was the precise phrase. Anyhow, the point is that, why is in a selfish way? Because in the normal world, when you have a relation with a person, friendship, anything, any moment there is any difficulty, you need to deal with it. You need to overcome it. You need to find a solution. You need to accept the other. What happened in this relation nowadays, in the moment that something don't like, right away, cut. I take you out of my list of friends. Finished. Don't need to listen anymore. Don't need to see you. I just listen when I want. I just see you when I want. But the point is that people are more and more getting lonely. Even though they are all the time connected, being disconnected somehow, no? I'm not saying that I'm totally against all the social media things. I'm not saying that. I am against the individualistic system. I love being alone. I think it's so important for us to be able to be alone well. But we need to share. We need to give. We need to receive. That's part of our own human nature to be happy. Even the studies about happiness that were done within the United Nations, they were very clear saying that what makes human beings to be happy is to share, is to have someone they trust in. From Norway to Africa, what was making people happy was the fact that they could trust others. They could receive things from others. They could give things to others. So generosity is an important key even for our mundane daily happiness. And it's important for us to share with an open mind, not share like in a sort of business way. I give you this because then I want to get that back, and if I don't get it, I'm not giving anymore, or whatever. We really need to share openly because it's beautiful to give time, to give help, to give materially, to share, to give the Dharma. It's so important to do that for our own well-being. Okay. So, just to conclude the part on generosity, we have here verse number 101, in which it says, "We seek your blessings to complete the perfection of generosity through the guideline teachings for enhancing the mind that gives without attachment, namely, transforming our bodies, wealth, and collection of virtue over the 3 times into the objects desired by each and every sentient being." So this part of me is a meditation that we do, which is also connected to the meditation of Tonglen, of receiving, taking, and giving. But this is meditation specifically done in the part of giving, in which we visualize all sentient beings around us, with their suffering, with their difficulties, with their sicknesses, and everything else. And then we start visualizing light and nectar that emanates from our heart, giving to them everything that they need and they want. So, what will happen is that we share with others what we have. We cannot give what we do not possess. So normally, as the text is saying, we give our body, our wealth, and our collection of virtue. Even if our body is not truly ours, because when we die, we cannot take it with us. And even before that, even now, we say this is my body, but this is actually the body that I am using, which was given to me by my parents. It's the sperm of my father and the ovum of my mother that I'm using and I have developed into this body, but it is not something that I have done myself. So, it's like somehow it's not really truly my body, it's the body that I'm using. The material things that I say to have, this is not my cup, it's the cup that I use. One day when I die, I'm not able to use it anymore. It's not going to be mine anymore. Okay? So, even actually if we change this attitude, instead of saying what is mine, instead of saying what I use, and I have the right to use, it's already changed the attitude. It makes things quite better, actually. So, the only thing that is mainly, we can say, truly ours is the virtues that we have accumulated. No? The positive merits, the positive actions that we have done, the merits that we have done. This we can take from life to life. The inner qualities that we have, we can take with us wherever we go. This is truly ours. Anyhow, in this moment of the practice, we manifest what is supposedly ours. So also the body, the material things, all our inner qualities, our merits, all of this that is so-called ours is manifested into the form of light and nectar that multiplies and appears to every sentient being in the form of what they need, which means food for those that are hungry, water for those that are thirsty, medicine for those that are sick, company for those that feel lonely, coolness for those that are in the middle of heat. And like this we go up to giving to them the Dharma also. So those that are ready to receive the Dharma, the light and nectar arrive in the form of love and compassion and teachings and guidance and so on. So each session being reach the state of great bliss, of joy, of peace, of enlightenment. And then the light and nectar come back and reabsorb back into our heart. By doing this, we are training the mind of giving. Because generosity is an inner action of giving. It's not a physical act. Okay? And so it's important for us to train in giving. And we should start training with easy objects to give. Okay, what are the things that I have no difficulty giving? Maybe nothing, so we start with something. Maybe, okay, I have no problem sharing my food. Wonderful, but I have some difficulty sharing my space. Let's start sharing the space. I have no difficulty sharing my space, but I have difficulty sharing my time. Let's start sharing the time. I have no difficulty sharing my space, my time, and so on, but I have difficulty sharing my wealth. Let's start to share the wealth. And we go slowly. We start to share little more and more and more. We get more and more acquainted and more familiarized with the idea of sharing, of giving. And we will experience, as time goes through our practice, the great joy that comes from giving. Up to the moment that we can give anything that anyone may need. The examples that we're giving in India of great practitioners, that like the extreme example of generosity was to give one's own eye. So that is said to be in the texts tells about surgeons at the time that they knew how to make eye transplant. So they were like kings that gave their own eye. So someone were blind, they needed one eye, and then there was the guy, okay, take my eye. So they would go there, sort of a spoon, whatever, take out the eye and give to the other person. Okay, this is the extreme form of generosity. Or there is this past life of Buddha, in which he was a prince, and one day he was walking in the middle of the forest, and then he found one tigress, together with her little tigers, her cubs, we say in English, right? And what happened is that, as she was there, all the little tigers and also the mother, they were so hungry and weak, that the mother had nothing to do, so she was about to eat one of her own sons, in order to get the strength to be able to feed the others. So when he saw that, he felt so much compassion and he wanted to help, so he said, okay, I give my own body. So when he arrived near to the tigers, trying to show his own body to eat, she was so weak, so she was afraid, so was not accepting. Then he took his knife and he started cutting his own body and giving pieces slowly for her to eat. Then slowly she got more strength, and then he gave her whole body and she came and ate him completely. And while he was dying and doing this action, he made the motivation and the dedication. May all the merits I have by giving my body to these tigers that has so much need, may to the merits and the connection that I'm creating with these tigers, may I reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, and may in the moment of my enlightenment, when I reach enlightenment, may these tigers be my first disciples. And so it was. These tigers were the previous lives of the 5 first disciples of Buddha. So, sure, we cannot expect ourselves right away to give away our eyes or our kidney, okay? Which is easier than the eye, I would say. But still not easy, okay? I would say, okay, if comes someone here who needs a kidney transplant, are we ready to give away our kidney? I'm not sure. I don't know. Once in the monastery in Sera, there was a moment that there were 2 monks that they needed kidney transplant. So they made an announcement during teachings time. There were like 6,000 people around. They made an announcement, look, we need people to give, who likes to donate 1 kidney. And basically what happened is that I think there were 10 or 15 people that came, so they made all the blood exams and they checked, and finally from that they took 2 people that could give their own kidney. No? This is a great sign of generosity, no? But we should start by small things. Until where can I go? What can I give? What can I share? We start with small things, and then slowly we can make it more and more and more. The important thing to understand is that the more we are truly generous, the more we are truly happy. There is a direct connection with our ability of giving and the inner state of happiness and satisfaction. Okay? So with this we conclude verse number 101 about generosity. We have still another 5 perfections to go. And the next perfections regard morality. So I will just go very briefly on each one of the perfections without reading all the verses. And then the next time we will go on more details about them, okay? Because if I start opening now morality, we need at least half an hour minimum to go through it. So I prefer just to make a brief introduction to the 6 perfections, and then next time we go through it in more details, okay? So, next perfection is morality. Morality is, in Tibetan, given that one of the definitions is semsung. Semsung, sem means mind, sadrembo semasa sem. Sung, sarada shapyu sung asung, means protection. Protection of the mind. My own definition of morality is the protection of the mind in which we have the total conviction and the determination, the commitment to do what we know is good and to abandon what we know is bad. That's why we have seen more before, there are three types of morality: to avoid negative actions, to accomplish positive actions, and to benefit others. So morality is our ability to do what is good and to avoid what is bad. That's basically what morality is about. Ethics is where we discuss what is good and what is bad. We can stay years and years discussing here about ethics, okay? And the ethics will depend on the context, will depend on the many motivation. We can go on and on about discussing what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Okay? And there is ethics inside Buddhism, and we can go on and on about that. But morality goes beyond ethics. Morality is our ability to fulfill our commitment of accomplishing what is good and abandoning what is bad. It's a very important quality to develop. After morality, we have here, no? Söpa. Patience. Patience is the ability not to react with aggression in front of an object of suffering. In front of something that I see as a cause of suffering or I see as an object of anger, I will not react with aggression, with violence. That's patience. Okay? Without any level of aggression of body, speech, or mind. That's when it completes the patience. In the beginning, at least, let's try not to react violently with our speech and with our body. That's already a good step. Then we should avoid reacting violently with our mind. But to have patience means in front of something that I see as a cause of suffering, of something that I don't like, something that annoys me, something that is not good for me, that is a supposed object of anger, I do not react with anger, with aversion, with aggression. Okay? I think it's quite clear, right? After that, we have effort. Effort, joyful effort. The definition of joyful effort, Tsöngkan Gela Trovao by Shantideva, it says, what is effort? Is the joy in virtue. So my own definition of effort is to put energy in a joyful way in what is not easy and is positive. So to have effort is to put energy in something that is not easy, that is possible, and to do it in a joyful way. So to have joy in virtue, to put energy in what is not easy, that is positive, and I do it with joy. That's effort. Effort is the main key for every realization. Without effort, we cannot get anywhere. We just stick where we are. We don't go anywhere better because we don't put the effort to change. Okay? Effort, and after effort, we have concentration. Concentration is our ability to keep the mind still. To say to the mind, look at this, and the mind stay looking at it. Okay? Concentration is our ability to single point our mind, which is actually, in other words, the ability of relaxing the mind within the object of perception. Relaxing the mind from all distractions. The state of concentration is a state of relaxation. It's not a state of tension. Okay? And then the last, but not least at all, is the most important of all the qualities that we need to perfect, which is wisdom. Wisdom, in other words, is to have coherence with reality. To act and perceive reality in a coherent way with what it actually is. Okay? Things are impermanent, I relate to phenomena as impermanent. phenomena are interdependent, I relate to phenomena as being interdependent. Now what we do, if I ask anyone here, the reality around you, is it permanent or impermanent? What will you answer? Impermanent. But then, how does the reality appear to us in our daily basis as permanent? And how do we act to it as if it is permanent? That's ignorance. In the moment we are able to relate to it as being impermanent, then we are relating to it in a coherent way. So for me, one of the best words to describe wisdom is the ability to perceive and relate to reality in a coherent way for what reality actually is. Okay? If we make another very short example, we live in an objective reality or in a subjective reality. The world around us, everything that we perceive and so on, is it subjective or is it objective? It's subjective, okay? How does it appear to us normally? When I see anything, does it appear to me as being subjective or as being objective? As existing in a subjective way or as existing in an objective way? Objective way. So which is our ignorance of seeing what is subjective as being objective? What is wisdom? To see the subjectiveness of subjective reality. In other words, to see what is subjective as subjective. Simple. To see as interdependent what is interdependent. That's what we need to do. That's the point of developing wisdom. Now I'm making it very brief now, okay? I'm not just going to one point. Just trying to make an introduction about wisdom. But it's very important to understand in this way, wisdom is not something far away that we need to develop. It's just accept reality and relate to reality in a coherent way. Why should it be so difficult? Because we are not familiarized with it. From lives and lives and lives. So, things appear to us in a way which is different from what they are, and we grasp to it, and we believe in it. That's ignorance. In the moment that I relate to reality exactly as it is, taking the same example as before, 2 examples we did. Phenomena are impermanent, I relate to them as being impermanent. Why do I need to suffer when things change? What's the problem with death? That's the nature of things. What's the first thing that we are sure the moment that we are born? We are going to die. The only certainty anyone has in the moment that he's born is that he's alive, okay, and that he's going to die. Nothing else. So what's the problem? It's part of life. The problem is not to die. The problem is to live life in a non-meaningful way. That's the problem. The problem is to let our life go waste. That's the problem. Let this wonderful opportunity we have to go waste. That's the problem. It's not to die. To die is not a problem because it has no solution. What has no solution is not a problem. It's a fact. True or not? So, but we don't accept it. That's ignorance. In the moment that we relate to reality in a coherent way, that's wisdom. And that's the main key for happiness. Okay. Then. And in the text, we go there, verse number until 105. It goes to concentration. Then we have 106, 107, and 108, which is wisdom. There are 3 verses for the perfection of wisdom. Okay? Then after that, we start with the Vajrayana path. Okay? So, in the Guru Puja, as we go through it, as we read the verses, they are actually guiding us on the gradual path to enlightenment, showing us every step from relying upon the Guru, relying correctly upon the spiritual guide, up to the ultimate state of enlightenment. It's guiding us on every step. Now we have seen the 6 perfections. Before that is the generation of the commitment of the Bodhisattva vows. Before that is the actual generation of bodhicitta. Then we have the methods how to generate bodhicitta, and like this we go on. Like the whole path to enlightenment is there. So it's important for us to read it carefully, to meditate upon it, to familiarize our mind with it. Okay? So this is all for today, for this time. So we have other opportunities to continue on with the commentary on the Guru Puja. I'm very happy, as I said the last time, to do it without hurry, because then we can go slowly, and because of modern technology, anyone can go back and listen again, and listen to the part that you have not listened before, and so on, which I think is really wonderful. This gives also the possibility to do slowly and give the possibility for everyone to have access to the whole teachings. Okay? So we do then now the final dedications. Just one last thing is that it is a wonderful opportunity actually to be able to have access to the teachings in multimedia format, online and so on. You know? Like Venerable Sangasena, this last time in Borobudur, he was giving a very nice speech from India, Venerable Sangasena. He was saying, look how fortunate you are nowadays. Before we had so much difficulty to receive one teaching. You know? Nowadays, you can go, you can invite your guru to come to your house any moment he will come. You can choose the room, you can choose the time, just turn on the computer, put the teaching you want to listen, and there he is giving teachings to you. No? And he was also saying, normally when you receive the teachings, you just need to listen. Then, now what you can do, even now what you can say when you receive the teachings, you can say, excuse me, Guru, I didn't understand. Can you go back? Then we go back again, and he will repeat again to you as many times as you may wish. No? So, basically what happens is that we have this beautiful opportunity. Like how many teachings I received, and what I understood, wonderful. What I didn't understand or what I forgot is gone. Instead, here we can go back and we can listen again and we can do it. And this is so, please, we are already doing that, but let's use it as much as we can. Okay? Jetsun lame kutse raptenchi namkar tinle chochur gepadang losan tempe dreme sasumgi drove musel tatu negyurchi Chanchub semcho rinpoche make panam ke gyurchi ke pa nyampar me payang kongne konto pelwarsho nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan delekshin Nintsen takto delekpe, koncho sumke jingilo, koncho sumge ngodrup tsol, koncho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the 3 jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realization and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.